Good afternoon, dear friends. Well, of course, I would like to start our conversation by expressing my gratitude to Father Gavriil and Andre for actually coming to Rakitnoy. This is truly a blessed place. I want to mention that it was right here, in this very cell, that Seraphim Tyapochkin lived, a man of great piety, whose documents are now being prepared so that he too may be canonized as a saint. He was a person who did a great deal for Orthodoxy and for Orthodox believers. And of course, the fact that we have gathered here, that Father Gavriil and Andre have come specifically to this church and this cell, is very meaningful. We are also grateful to Father Nikolai for this. He's not here himself, but he gave us this opportunity. Thank you to him for his hospitality. And of course, I want to repeat once again my gratitude for the opportunity to have this conversation with Father Gavriil. Andre, special thanks to you and to you, Father Gavriil. Thank you for understanding that I couldn't get away from here. I would have gladly come to visit you, of course, because I know that your place is incredibly beautiful. But unfortunately, I didn't have the time or the opportunity to make the trip. So the fact that you came here and I had the chance to come here and talk with you, I am especially grateful for that. Well, I hope you'll share your thoughts and what you think so that people who are just stirring things up and making empty talk can hear what things are really like, your perspective. Of course, I will also share my own thoughts in the end. Father Gavriil.
Well, I can say one thing. Even before I met Apti, when I watched some of his statements, I realized that we have no disagreements. We understand the situation in exactly the same way. And those people who wanted to sow discord between Orthodox Christians and traditional Muslims did everything they could to create chaos, confusion, and perhaps even bloodshed in the rear of our homeland, which is now fighting a difficult war. Of course, this benefits our enemies. That's why they spread misinformation by cutting out a 40-second segment from my sermon and presenting it in such a way that I appear to be an enemy of the law, an enemy of Islam. Although I must say that there have been both Orthodox Christians and Muslims in my family, and of course, under no circumstances could I ever speak very negatively about Islam in any way. They simply interpreted me differently, incorrectly. This was done in order to create such a situation in the rear, you could say, of the warring side. So we talked with Apti for more than 2 hours and realized that we see everything that's happening in exactly the same way. We understand who our enemy is. We all have a common enemy. And both for Orthodox Christians and for Muslims, this needs to be clearly understood. We have a common enemy who wants to set us all against each other precisely in order to reap their own dividends, their own rewards. And we know that this is the world government who is behind this term, or as it is now politically correct to say, the deep state. These are people who are ready to destroy both Orthodox Christians and Muslims. And that is why today, especially with Muslims who are our own people and have lived with us for hundreds of years, we must stand together against a single enemy. Therefore, there should be no disagreements between us. And the fact that I was misunderstood is unfortunately precisely because of those people who want to stir up some kind of revolution in the country. That is why we discussed all these matters and came to the conclusion that we have no disagreements on this issue. We must fight side by side as brothers against our common enemy and defend our shared homeland. We have only one homeland. We have no other. Together, true Muslims and true Orthodox Christians alike. Unfortunately, there are false ones on both sides.
And false Christians as well, Christians only in appearance. And among Muslims too, there are quite a few who know nothing at all and in fact do not believe in God. So purely in theory, they are considered Muslims. We have a lot in common. And in fact, there is no religion closer to us, it must be said. And a true Christian treats a person not based on their faith, but on who they are, on their inner character, what is in their heart, whether they have a conscience or not, whether they love, whether they are capable of loving others, whether they are ready to defend their brother who has fallen into trouble or not. Only these criteria of love for one's neighbor can unite us. And in principle, these criteria exist both for them and for us. Therefore, after talking and thoroughly discussing and reflecting on all these important issues in great detail, we ultimately decided to stand united together so that none of our enemies would try again and again to
force us to fight each other, to shed blood. We live, I repeat, in a single space in our united country, Russia. And we must stand shoulder to shoulder to fight those who want to destroy it. And they want to destroy it because, as we all know, the West has practically run out of resources, no minerals, no water while we have a lot of drinking water, no forests, no space, no land. Because, of course, today, as we were driving to the Belgorod region and the Kursk province, what black soil we have. We were just driving and marveling at how rich our land is. Of course, for the people who live there in the West, it is absolutely crucial for them to seize our resources, our land, our black soil. That's why we must understand clearly. We have only one enemy. We are not enemies to each other. That's the main thing. And what I was talking about, I meant exclusively the people who are generally referred to as Wahhabis. And I think there's no need to explain to anyone who they are. It's precisely this group of people I was referring to, those who unfortunately come to us and behave inappropriately, precisely because they are not real Muslims. That's the point. Now I'll hand the floor over to the esteemed Apti, and he will also add a few words.
Father Gavriil, first of all, so that everyone hears this and fully understands, I want to say that I sincerely and wholeheartedly apologize to Father Gavriil, truly from the bottom of my heart. Our conversation began with me sincerely apologizing for the way I expressed myself, which was inappropriate for me as a Caucasian and as a Muslim, for the fact that I truly took the form that was thrown between us as if it were Father Gavriil's actual statement. Of course, after speaking with him, I have absolutely no doubt that Father Gavriil, no matter when or where he spoke about anything, was referring to those truly faithful Muslims who strive toward God. And of course, even in light of this very conversation, they are brothers in arms with our Orthodox brothers both in the war we are currently waging, so to speak, and in the main battle that lies ahead of us against the army of the Antichrist, Dajjal. That is, we are brothers in arms, brothers united by our common goals and objectives, and naturally,
Moral values.
of course, by our moral values as well. Therefore, once again, I apologize to you, Father Gavriil. I want those people who are on the other side to hear this. I think we'll let Andre say a few words, and then I'll probably wrap up since I've been here for a long time already. And especially since Father Nikolai,
The host,
yes, the host, especially since Father Nikolai has entrusted me with his cell. So I believe I should give the floor to Andre. You know, I would like to say that we, of course, live in an age of information. The information space plays a huge role in our lives. Sometimes it plays a positive role, and sometimes it plays a very negative one. And yes, this situation was taken advantage of. It's clear that people try to stir up this situation, and I think a considerable amount of money was spent on it, to ignite things, just as, if we remember, in our history at the beginning of the 20th century, a civil conflict was sparked in the rear of a country at war. I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. In our country, it's quite difficult to ignite an interethnic conflict. There are simply too many different peoples living in Russia. But it's very tempting to try to spark an interfaith conflict. That's why they have are targeting, and will continue to target precisely this area. And to many of my like-minded people, comrades, and fellow believers, I want to say, guys, I completely understand that, of course, we are all susceptible to information noise and news triggers. But as our Holy Patriarch says, we must always distinguish the signals from the noise. Especially in our information age, when we are bombarded with so much information, so much of this informational noise and lies, we must always separate the signals from this noise. There are signals, you see, but many people are susceptible to this noise, have been affected by it, and there are just too many emotions, too many lingering phantom pains, and all the rest. Guys, truly great things, especially for people of faith, are accomplished in silence, in dialogue, and not in internet wars, not in online battles over who gets more likes and reposts, or who has what kind of comments. You understand perfectly well that nowadays, when it's said that more than 50% of so-called accounts online are bots, especially bots that belong to various interested parties, it's very easy to stir things up on the internet. Unfortunately, it's just that putting out the fire afterwards is very difficult, and I am grateful to both Father Gavriil and Apti Alaudinov for the fact that they responded. And so this meeting took place, an important meeting where people don't compete with each other through the internet with likes and reposts, but simply sit down as citizens of one country, as patriots of this homeland, as people who wanted to endure, and they sit and talk to each other over a cup of tea. I remember how you invited them. Let them come, as shown in the video. Where did this whole meeting even come from? It was precisely because Apti said, well, watch the videos, come over, have some tea. So in the end, it was over a cup of tea that this important dialogue took place between two patriots of Russia who have done and continue to do great things for Russia. And Father Gavriil is on his own important front, and Apti Alaudinov is on his own important front, right? And so these people finally met face to face over a cup of tea. And it turned out that there were no contradictions after all. But as for all that garbage that was thrown onto the internet, there are some serious questions about that. But basically, we can say that we know, or at least suspect, who did this and why they did it, but it didn't work out for them. So we ask all our like-minded friends to calm down and understand that people of faith, yes, they should strive for peace, not for conflict. Andrei, thank you very much. In light of what he just said, I'd like to add a couple of words, Father, with your permission. Then I'll probably wrap up our conversation. What would I like to say? In Islam, there is a saying about the time of the coming of the Antichrist, Dajjal, as we Muslims call him. It is said about these times, by the time Dajjal, that is the Antichrist, arrives, every person will have a little Antichrist in their hands. In other words, these are our phones, which we all hold in our hands. Of course, through internet resources today, a terrible job is being done to corrupt the population, both in our country and, as they say, in other countries around the world. Very frightening things are being done through internet resources, things that play into the hands of the Antichrist, Dajjal, and his armies. What would I like to say? To everyone who can hear us, so friends, listen. Father Gavriil is truly one of the respected figures in Orthodoxy. It turns out, to my great, as they say, to my shame, I didn't know Father Gavriil before that event. So it seems that God arranged for us to meet. We talked kindred spirits. We came together and realized that we were like-minded. At first, Andrei responded to my call and came. Now, it happened that Father Gavriil and I sat down and talked as well. What do I want to say? There is a war going on in the world today, and we need to call this war by its proper name. This is a war of us, believers, against the Satanists. And these Satanists, in their camp, have people who are presented as Muslims. They have people in their camp who are presented as Christians, as Buddhists. it's exactly the same mirror reflection as on our side. That is, in our ranks today, there are people whom we call Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, people who say they don't believe in God at all, people who say they are pagans, but today they are on our side. As we say, there are no non-believers in war. There is a war going on, and in this war of ours, the main task for our enemy is to divide us, because the enemy realizes that they're on the front line, which we are not so far from now. They're not able to defeat us. To defeat Russia, a fire must be kindled within Russia itself. This fire can only be ignited in two ways. The first is through ethnic hatred. The second is through religious hatred. And of course, the most frightening and painful aspect for us would be if this were to happen on religious grounds. Because if they can set us against each other, we watched several videos today, recalled many documents in which it is openly stated that in order to defeat Russia from within, Muslims and Christians must be turned against each other. In other words, if they start fighting each other, Russia will already be defeated. What is the most important thing? Whoever comes to our country, no matter what they call themselves, Muslim or Christian, if they behave in a way that is inappropriate for the residents of this state, for the faith that we practice, if they go beyond the bounds of our laws, then all of us, united as one, will stand together to bring these people to their senses. And as for those who do not want to come to an appropriate state, of course, we will deal with them, work on them in accordance with our law. In other words, we will not allow any enemies to play games with Russia, no matter where they are, how they see themselves, or how much they want to toy with us. We will not allow it. And of course, I would like to point out one more thing. So when I recorded the video, it was specifically about the person who insulted Chechens as a nationality, insulted Allah, and said some very bad things. If anyone watches that video, they will hear those words there. He says, we must make all Russians nationalists, or more precisely Nazis. That's what he says. And of course, when I speak out in that same video, when I say if someone raises the head of nationalism, that head must be cut off, I will repeat it now. What is meant here is Nazism, which, as he puts it, has crossed over from nationalism into Nazism. That is, any Russian or representative of another nationality who wants to revive their traditions, customs, their, as they say, religious rights, their national identity, if they want to do this without humiliating, insulting, or killing others, then for us, they are our brother. But any person who says, no, everyone else should be killed, everything should be taken away, only we should remain and no one else, of course, he becomes our common enemy. It turns out he is exactly from the camp of those enemies of ours whom we are fighting against today. Of course.
Moreover, the person you are talking about, as far as I understand, is not even Russian, although he is calling for Russian Nazism.
That's right.
So he is a provocateur.
He is a provocateur, absolutely, without a doubt. That is so that no one distorts any facts, whether in relation to Orthodoxy, Russians as a nationality, or Muslims. So what are our general conclusions? What have we come to? It turns out that we are all striving in the same direction. For us, the ideals and values are shared. And we have a single enemy, the army of the Antichrist, Dajjal, which is opposing us today. And with each passing day, it will only gain more and more momentum in order to break us and defeat us. And naturally, our task is to become even more, as they say, united, even stronger in our faith in God. And of course, we will definitely defeat this army of the Antichrist, Dajjal, because we are all awaiting the coming of Jesus and we all want to be in his army. And naturally, we are confident and know that Jesus will undoubtedly defeat the Antichrist, and we will help him defeat his army. I think there is no doubt about that for anyone. So thank you to everyone who listened to us.
Thank you. God bless.
Thank you. God bless.